and the nutritional yeast is not, not raw, and nutritional yeast has MSG.
Oh yeah, okay, so you're learning.
So I'm learning, yeah. And so I'm like, oh my god, like nutritional yeast doesn't have added MSG, but it has in the process of it.
Really?
And so
it makes MSG in the process of it.
I did not know that.
So many recipes, they say that they're raw and they call for nutritional yeast, which is a total toxic chemical. It excites the
How does
endocrine system.
food make MSG? You know?
Kim did some study on it.
I did
so I don't know.
some research.
Okay,
They have to make nutritional yeast with like some cooking chemical method, and
So
then
it's
they
the
dry
yeast.
it out.
It's,
Have you heard of nutritional yeast?
No.
It's like
I've heard
a
of yeast, but
it's like a powdery flake that you can like add to like nuts and make like a cheese sauce or something. It's like a vegan cheese sauce. It's just a nutritional yeast.
do you eat cheese or like
Well,
cheese?
if it's raw, then it's okay. If it's not pasteurized, like I made a salad today, and we found some cheese that was not pasteurized at the farmer's market that we bought.
Okay.
So as long as it's not heated, if it's raw, then it's
Okay,
okay.
so if it doesn't say not pasteurized,
It's pasteurized almost all the time. Yeah.
cheers.
Cheers! Yay! Good to see you.
So
Yeah,
when did you
welcome.
decide to come back to Mexico?
Mm-hmm.
Good question.
One ingredient, right? Watermelon.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that's it.
Well, we were gonna go to Mauritius, and that's the
So what
island
is
off
this?
of Africa.
It's avocado,
Mhm.
lime, cilantro, spinach,
Okay, cool.
some salt. It's just a, like gazpacho is a cold soup. It's just a soup that's not needed. Those are sun-dried tomatoes.
You did it yourself?
Dehydrated. Yeah.
You know, I
I
actually
tried to
did.
do them in the sun and they got moldy, so we bought a dehydrator.
Oh, I did them in the oven once, but you know they didn't come out really nice looking or anything. But they're okay.
We've been practicing all sorts of different ways.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
they worked in the dehydrator. We did it out in the sun. David made crackers, baked in the sun, which turned out really well. So we thought we'd try some things like tomatoes and fruit. And the tomatoes they took so long that they ended up getting a little moldy on the parchment paper.
Yeah,
So that was,
Yeah.
Now my girlfriend, I had a girlfriend. She went raw. She did it for about 2 years, and I think she stopped. But yeah, she got hydrated. It was one of the first things. Was she making kale chips? Are you doing?
oh, we haven't done kale chips yet. We haven't found good kale
Oh, really?
here yet. But we made zucchini chips. We tried that with zucchini on and David did some eggplant that he dried. We've done a bunch of fruit.
We just got the dehydrator a few days
Uh-huh.
ago, so
Oh, well, then you got fun to play with it.
trying to make grapes, and it just goes forever. So you might as well throw other things in there while the grapes are going.
Making raisins?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we were
raisins.
but they're taking forever.
Really? Yeah, a lot of water in them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I even cut them. They said to do them whole. That would have taken like a year. I don't know how they do it when they process them to get them at the store because they were.
They
I'm
probably
just
do
like,
higher temperature too.
Yeah.
Well, what did I saw something recently? It was interesting. I think they made jam or something out of watermelon rinds.
Oh, wow.
It's amazing the stuff
Yeah.
that you
Yeah.
can utilize.
Well, that's another thing. You know cashews? You know what cashews grow?
Mhm.
There's cashew trees. They grow here all over the place.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
And so they're just starting because there were none because I was watching the tree. They're just starting. What's interesting is the nut comes first. I wasn't sure whether the apple came first or the nut came first, but now I can see in the tree. I can see nuts, but no apples yet,
Wow.
or just little tiny apples.
I think these are almond trees. That's what Cece was telling
Well,
us.
those are things you see on the ground all the time.
Mhm.
Yeah,
They're
they are
almonds.
That's what Cece told us.
So you
I
could,
just
pick
bet
them
we-
up and
But we don't know how to process them.
you
Like,
can find out
yeah.
It's not that easy to husk them.
when they're raw.
They're like a coconut almost, where there's like a little nut in the middle, but then there's like 3 layers of husk and other things. So
Yeah, you gotta get to the nut, right?
yeah.
I didn't try the one I picked a cashew from the tree when it was ripe, so it was the apple. The apple's nice and red, and I just kept it to show people.
Wow.
I never tried to crack open the nut, but it's pretty hard shell.
Oh.
Yep, it's on the outside of the fruit and it's hard. So I don't know how you crack open.
You got me.
It's kind of cool. Almonds grow here naturally. Cashews grow here naturally. All kinds of
So
good
many
stuff,
things
eh?
now.
And all these
One
fruits
of our-
that you've never seen before.
We have been trying some of them. We just tried another one today. I don't know what it was, but it was so amazing. And then there's one that's like an avocado, except it's like a peachy color inside.
It's called like a mama or something.
But I'll show you.
Yeah, they're most interesting stuff here.
Yeah, we've been trying new fruits that we haven't tried it.
But it's great though because there's variety. Lots of variety. I mean, you have to research them because you don't even know what is a fruit. But you know,
like
there's,
this.
And
there's
then
these little.
open it.
Oh, I've seen that.
They're really
They
good.
are amazing.
It's a fruit.
It's like a sweet
Oh yeah,
avocado.
it's like a small cantaloupe. That's what
But it's like
to me
a
it
sweet
reminds me
avocado.
of.
But the fruit of it has like the texture of avocado, but it's sweeter. And it's like peach, like a dark peach color.
Kind of cool. Do you know what it's called?
Something with an M.
The M-A-M-A is what I remember seeing.
Okay, so anyways, there's these little low bushes. You see them all over the place. They have these little red fruits on them. Those are really good too.
Oh.
Yeah, and apparently they're really high in vitamin C.
Yeah. You could be a fruitarian really easily here with all the
Yes.
varieties of fruit, and they're so good.
I also heard stories of people that never buy fruit in the grocery store. They just walk around town and
Yeah,
pick stuff.
I believe it.
Yep.
That's awesome.
All kinds of crazy stuff. So you don't have to.
Yeah, I've seen people harvest some things from some of the trees.
What do you call it? Lemongrass and oh my gosh, so much of that stuff goes here.
Yeah, I saw people harvesting different plants from different trees, different nut pods and different things like that.
Yeah, it's the season's on right now for these. They're like pods, and they have little white seeds inside them. You can see them sometimes with long sticks trying to take them from the trees. They're only out for like 2 weeks a year. It's
Yeah, I've
happening
seen
right
that. I
now.
remember seeing that last time.
Those are apparently really good for your health too, but I don't know much about them.
Yeah.
They're very short season.
Lots to learn.
I'm gonna try making chocolate. Well, mangoes are almost in season, so I'm gonna go to now arcade.
We gotta
You're gonna dehydrate them, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
We're gonna dehydrate a whole lot of them this year.
Well, that's the whole thing, you know, because you can't use them all.
Yeah,
No.
You know, so if I can, I'm gonna try it. If I can make a decent chutney, then I'll like make a bunch of them.
Yeah.
Give them now arcade, whoever, you know.
And then you could jar it too.
Well, that's what I have to learn how to can it properly so it'll keep right.
Yeah. It's pretty
Not
easy.
that hard, yeah.
I haven't seen any of the canning jars in like not at La Comer or Chiadri.
I have some, but they're the little ones. They're like 8 ounces or something.
Yeah. You just boil them
Yeah, as long as
and
it's
then
hot, right?
close it,
And, yeah.
and then they seal.
So I think you could use any kind of glass jar as long as you heat it.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think so. I've got lots of people give me pickles and stuff in regular glass jars. No, my grandfather used to do pickles. She used to put a layer of wax on the top.
Wow.
That's what they used to do. Makes sense, seal it, right?
We made a bunch of raw pickles when we first got here.
Mm.
Did a
But
bunch
then we
of
learned
raw
that-
pickling, or it was like cold
Cucumbers.
pickling where you
Yeah.
can just do it in the fridge. You don't have to boil anything.
Well, my cucumbers I never boil.
Yeah.
The pickles.
But we put them in the fridge to get ready. I don't know. There's different processes. So that was the process we did. It was pretty good.
Watermelon juice, one of my favorites. And I
Yeah.
remember that one ingredient.
Yeah, I know.
Unless you want to put ice in it or something.
Yeah, we don't use ice. So this raw diet that we're on, well, it's not a diet, it's a way of living, but
Yeah.
you don't freeze anything, so we don't use ice, and you don't cook anything hotter than the temperature of the sun.
I never heard of the freezing thing. What's the deal with the freezing?
It kills the food, so anything that kills the enzymes in the food,
Well,
you don't.
it doesn't kill everything because they found, I think it was a type of moss or something, in the Arctic cave or whatever, been frozen for 10,000 years. Wow, that was still alive.
Yeah, I'm sure there are instances, but for
generally,
what
okay.
we're doing,
Okay.
it can, you know.
And why did you decide to go this route?
Well, I read a book a while ago called The Essene Gospel of Peace, and it said that it just really resonated with me. And
Okay.
anything that, all the things that we crave, you know, the salty, the sugars, all these things, they're actually living entities in our bodies that are craving these things, like worms and parasites.
Oh yeah.
And
They get stuck
they're
like
like,
that.
yeah,
I just
And-
read something about how food can ultimately.
yeah, and that, you know, doing this cleanse, it's like totally purifying, because our body, I believe, it's our temple, you know, and to totally purify it, it's the St. Gospel of Feast was supposedly Yeshua, Jesus,
Oh, I've never heard that.
yeah,
Okay.
teaching the people how to live and be healthy. And one guy had so much junk in his body that a worm came out the length of his body when he was doing this fast. And so many people do have parasites and worms, and they're not even aware. And that,
Of course,
you know,
yeah.
and I can attest, like I was having perimenopausal symptoms,
Mhm.
you know, night
Mhm,
sweats,
mhm.
and my periods were skipping, and everyone thinks, oh, it's my age, it's normal. As soon as I did this fast, it stopped. I quit
Not
getting
surprised.
night sweats,
Not surprised.
and my periods are back to normal.
I'm not surprised.
So a lot of stuff that happens and with our bodies deteriorating is directly correlated
Yeah.
to the food
Because
we're
we've been
eating.
abusing our bodies for years and years.
And
Mm-hmm.
you know, putting in harmful things that our body's like, what the hell do I do with this?
And the food's getting worse every day.
Yeah, all the
Every
processed
day.
stuff, and so this is like reversing the aging process.
Well,
And we had to do the enema cleanses too. I could not believe after 5 days of no food, just water, that shit was still coming out of me. Literally.
Aaron, do you think it's generally healthier here than back in States?
Yes.
Like not taking the food out of the equation, everything else? Because I don't think we have as much, what would you call it, poisoning of the food going on here. Because they can afford chemicals. So the food, even though it's probably not perfect, it's better than what's right. Plus all those terrain developments and
I do believe that Mexico doesn't have the same agenda quite as the United States. I think the United States is probably one of the worst countries as far as their agenda for poisoning their people.
Have you been watching anything? Because Obrador, whatever his name is, he said no geoengineering in Mexico. He's also on the path to get rid of Monsanto.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, I don't know
And
how they
he
let
wants to join BRICS.
Yeah, I saw
Coca-Cola
that.
in here, though.
So to me, that's one of the main reasons why I feel pretty good about being here.
Yeah, that's huge.
It's
Yeah.
huge.
That BRICS thing is
Well, there's some big stuff coming.
Yeah.
Oh man, there's really big stuff.
for
coming.
sure. It's pretty amazing the time that we're alive in.
Well, I'm happy to be here during this, even though it's so chaotic. I'm really happy to be here.
Yeah.
I'm happy you're here too. I feel the same.
It's sure interesting times.
Oh,
Yeah.
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 So I can understand why you would come back here. I mean, there's probably other places that you've done.
Well, our friend wanted us to help him with this hostel in Lo de Marco, and that got us here, but then the space he was offering us was like basically a patio that didn't have any windows or, you know. And I was like, okay, I know there's mosquitoes, and I know the rainy season, I would get wet, and I would be, you know, I can't accept.
Better off in a tent.
I know, exactly. So,
I could live in a tent here.
yeah.
I mean, there's some nice tents.
Yeah.
You can put down a floor,
Oh
right?
yeah, you can make a tent real nice.
And yours, I looked at all that stuff because I looked at a piece of land in Toledo because there's a guy, he's really cool, right? And, you know, he's against all this stuff. So he bought this piece of land.
Uh-huh.
And his idea was to make it a small community for no more than six homes.
Oh, okay.
And he's all like off grid, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And before I went to El Tudo, but before I met him, he said, well, come see my house because his whole house is off grid, and he's got like a pool, and his pool's filtered using plants and soil, and he's got a little fish pond that comes off it, and he heats it with his solar heater and all that. So, I went to his house and thought, wow, I'm impressed with this guy.
Yeah.
So he's up in El Tweedo now. He's first thing he built was his what do you call it, sewage system.
Yeah.
That was the very first thing he built, but he picked up this land. It's so cool. It's El Tweedo's kind of out in the middle of nowhere, and it's 10 minutes drive from El Tweedo, so it's not even really close to El Tweedo. So there are 2 streams that go through his property.
Wow.
One is high volume that he said he'd use for irrigation and the pool, and the lower volume one would be filtered for drinking. And he's already built himself a shower there. I don't know how far he's gotten.
That's so cool.
There's no internet
that's
up
a
there,
good
no?
dream. Yeah.
No.
Well, that's good.
But he said, like his idea was, because he wanted $5,000 to buy your park there. I still haven't been able to ask him, how can I give you my $5,000 so I can have that spot, right? But that's what I was looking at, yurts and tents and different options to build because you'd build your own place. And then people that live there would share the infrastructure. So he said we'd probably have to get satellite.
Oh, okay.
That kind of thing.
Yeah.
There's some amazing
Now they're
satellite
Starlink,
internet.
so, yeah.
The Starlink.
My friends are thinking of going to that.
That's what they had in Lodo Marco upstairs.
I like
They
that
had
because
the
there's no
Starlink.
tracking there, right? Do you
Yeah,
know?
I don't know much of it.
But yeah, maybe I could take you up to meet
Yeah, I would love
Marcelo
that.
someday. And you can see what he's done. And the property already has mangoes, and then those big sticky fruits, jamaica, agave, limes,
Wow.
nopales. It's already got a whole bunch of stuff. And he was talking about, well, the pool will go here. He doesn't want to change the landscape. He says, but there's the low spot.
Oh, wow.
And he said we just line it, and then take the water off the stream, and with the output back to the stream when it's too full and rainy. The guy really has his act together. I was really
Permaculture,
impressed.
sustainability. It sounds right up our alley.
Yeah, well, that's
We want
what
to see
he was
more
interested
communities
in.
like that.
So yeah, well, let me see if I can get in touch with him and find out, because like I said, there's no internet up there.
Yeah.
So I think he goes into town and then gets on and does his little things on Facebook once in a while. But his car broke down and he couldn't call anybody, to come and help him.
I'd love to go away from internet and get phones and computers and stuff for some time.
I'd have to have him mark the property because last time I went up there, I was going to Mato. It goes to the same road. So I knew I was gonna pass by the property and I was gonna stop. But he had like a green rag tied to the fence. Well, the green rag's gone, and I was like, I'm not sure if this is the place or not.
Yeah.
So I'll ask him.
How to get there? What is your
Ask him when he's there, and ask him if he can put another marker or something up there. Because I know generally the road up there is really bad. Very bad.
Yeah. But you got a SUV, so it's probably no problem for you.
Sort of, yeah, I managed. And he brought a trailer to live in while he was,
Yeah.
I don't know if he's built. Well, I saw some building go up there because it posts, stuff. So I'm not really sure if he's still living in the trailer. Actually, I think he was selling the trailer. I can't remember. But it was much smaller than your trailer. It was.
Yeah.
I think he had to pull that one. I can't remember if it has its own motor engine or not.
We still have some sushi and dessert. So
Oh, wow, okay.
It's a 5-course meal.
But it took them, he said, I forget, like 13 hours or something to get the trailer there, because the entry to the property goes down through the stream. Okay, so I mean the stream's not running all the time, but you gotta go like this. And
Ours
with
wouldn't
the
make it.
trailer, like my cars can make it.
But
the
our
trailer.
wouldn't have made it.
You said hours, not cars.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they managed to finally get it up there,
Cool.
But so, I mean, if you had a community, one of the first things you have to do is build a bridge.
Yeah.
Because in the rainy season,
Because you can buy a container and turn it into a home really easily.
Oh, yes,
I've seen
I
a
know.
container home. So.
I've seen some beautiful yurts though. You've seen yurts? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, buy a yurt kit.
Yeah.
And they go up pretty easily.
But
And
he showed me some tents that were really cool.
you just
so-
want to be able to be away from the mosquitoes and waterproof. Dry
So, yeah.
and mosquito free.
So I really I want to keep in touch with him, and I want to keep that option open, because that's like my escape plan. You know? But here it'll be a long time before we have to worry about that kind of stuff here. You guys both eating your salad with your fingers.
Yeah. I had years ago a friend from India who told me that there's receptors in our hands, and then when we eat with our fingers, that we're connecting more with the food.
Well, they do eat with their fingers.
And it like prepares the saliva. The fingers send a signal to the saliva in the mouth into the stomach to prepare it for what
Makes
they're
sense.
eating.
I don't know if you do it. But no, you watch them, right? That's how they eat it. I mean, they use bread a lot, though.
Yeah.
Like, to pick
Yeah.
things up. Like you have to get sauce.
That's what it was when I was in
Right?
Mauritius. They just give you a piece of paper.
Yeah.
And they put a bunch of food on it, and you just eat it.
Mm-hmm.
And you're not supposed to use your left hand though.
Yes, I know about that. Was that Indian?
Yeah,
Like-
a lot of the traditions in Mauritius were Indian. Most of the population in Mauritius was Indian.
Is that tied to a particular religious sect, or is that just the Indian culture?
I don't know. I think it's the Indian culture.
Okay. I remember that Pakistan. I spent a few early years in Pakistan. And I don't remember that, but that doesn't mean anything. I mean, how much memory you have when you're a kid.
What were you doing in Pakistan?
Well, they were building a dam,
Uh-huh.
and it was a 3-year project, and they hired a Canadian construction company to do it. So they had to set up communities to bring their families. It was 3 years. And then because of that, they needed schools. My parents were teachers, and I was teach.
Oh, wow.
Mhm.
And you were 3?
It was 2 and I went there. It was 6 when I came back.
Wow. But you remember it.
I remember lots of it, but I'm not sure how much of it is my memory and how much of it is stories I got from my parents.
Yeah.
Because our memories aren't that good, right? They're pretty fallible.
And sometimes our memories are a memory of a memory.
Well,
We remember us remembering a memory, and that's the memory that we have sometimes.
well, I've heard eyewitnesses are the worst form of evidence because they're memories. And people think they remember something from 10 years ago, clear as day, and
Yep.
it's not what they remember at all.
I saw a documentary about that.
Mm.
Where like this one, they got all these people together, and this one guy created a disturbance and then ran off. One person said his shirt was blue, and other people said no,
Yeah.
his shirt's red. I swear his shirt was red, and they played back the video. And
Yeah.
It was green. No.
So I've read a few things about that too. So I don't trust my memory 100% because I know that.
Yeah.
My memories are pretty selective.
medicine ceremonies have brought me back memories, and I've seen parts of my, like went back to parts of my life
I swear
that
I had
I could have
rebirth.
had no memory of.
I went through birth. One of my UFO ceremonies.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. I didn't know where.
Mhm.
It kind of like sat there and I went, what the hell was that? You know. And
Yeah.
I thought it took a big step backwards. Like it just was a strange experience. And all I remember was these beings saying, "Come with us," and they wanted to take me to this. Not like, you know, normally it's like bright and beautiful and colorful. This is like dark and it's like I don't really want to go. And I moaned through the whole thing. And I think back on it, and it's probably I went through a birthing experience.
Yeah.
Because it was like this dark round
Yeah.
tunnel thing, and I didn't want to go.
You're like, I'm not going back.
I don't think babies want to go through that either, right?
I experienced my birth when I was 10 years old. I was very sick, and I was having very high fevers. And I was in bed, and I experienced my birth.
Well, really,
at
it's
a
very traumatic,
sick
isn't it?
engine.
It's very traumatic.
Hmm. Yeah, it was like crazy intense
Yep.
crush like, and then it was like all nice and calm and chill, like energy like that.
Oh, like the
And then,
contractions.
like totally like, oh, it's all good, and it's like, yeah.
I'm sure the babies do not want to come out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, because think about that. I mean,
Being in that nice.
you think it's bad enough that the woman has to push that thing out of her vagina. That head has to be squeezed through there. You know, and then that can't be pleasant. Imagine like simulating that. You know, things.
That was a really amazing vision.
Yeah. And I wonder how it helped you to go through it again. So you can release it, I guess?
It brought me closer to my mother, understanding her a little more, and understanding myself a little bit more.
I'm still
But I
processing.
understood it like it took me, 20 more years later to understand what I experienced that.
Yeah, that's it. That's what I find. I did Buffalo like last week,
What you did?
and I was under like 25 minutes. And Richie and Dave were there. They were both looking up. I was like, "Oh shit, man!" Yeah, I mean, I didn't scream, move, anything. I didn't shake or moan or
Do
anything.
you remember?
Just that it was beautiful. You know, I mean, because I don't know, like it's really, you can't really articulate what you experience. So that's why, I find it takes me quite a bit of mulling it over and rethinking it, and to try to get some of the, to try to understand the experience, because it's almost beyond understanding.
For me, every one of my Bupo experiences was totally lucid. I was like awake and experiencing all of it. I never did
Not me.
I never had a covered Bupo experience. I always knew exactly what was going on. I was aware. I was like going through the adventure, being there. Really profound
I
experience.
did have one where I was lucid, but
Well, I try to be there, but it's so out there that it's kind of like I think a lot of times for me, anyways, it's like it's so intense experience that I'm not sure it's real.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been in some of the same experiences I had with like DMT, where I blasted off to another place with other beings, and it was kind of like that, kind of like those kind of experiences. And then also like it was a part of the Bupa where I thought I was dying from it, and then I died. And then like I fell through death, like I fell through the place where I died and went to this whole dark place with all these dark beings and stuff. I wrote about it in my next book that's at my editor right now.
It's so interesting.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And Richard says it unlocks your ancient memories.
Yes.
So that even makes it more confusing in a way. It's like,
Well, then there's this whole past, present, and future all happening at the same time. So it's like if I encounter a being, I haven't had one that had much of a form that I could really take out, but it was not there, right? Was that an ancient ancestor, or was it an alien? From we're all one anyway.
exactly.
Is that my higher
It's all the
self?
same thing, right? And so maybe that's why I can't really put a picture to it, I think, no, because like future communication, right, if you follow any of this extraterrestrial stuff, there's no words, it's all thoughts.
Yeah.
And downloads and stuff, right?
Telepathic. Yeah.
So you don't need to put things into words.
Yeah. Sometimes us silly humans try to figure things out, but it doesn't
Well, we
need to
do.
be figured
I do.
out.
I
It
try to
just
figure things out.
is figured out in a way. The
Yeah.
understanding it is not trying to understand it sometimes.
Yeah.
The understanding that you get is from not.
Well, I think to me a big part of it is understanding that it's beyond my understanding.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
But it's sort of like
And there's a release in that.
you
There's
get
a
this
freedom.
feeling though for what's there.
Yeah, I had an experience in Spain. It was like my second time doing ayahuasca, and so I knew that there was other life, and my mind was open, and I was on top of a mountain, and David said there's no such thing as a UFO because as soon as you identify it, it's no longer an unidentified flying object. So I identified an object.
No problem
in
with
the
that
sky.
anymore. No, they do. UAP, sorry.
Yeah, and
Yeah, they call it unidentified, but they identify it.
Yeah.
As unidentified, it's like, wait.
If you can, though, I think. Well, they don't want us to have that surface.
It was just a big spaceship, like nothing I'd ever seen before, and I trust my intuition and my inner knowing. And my first reaction was not fear; it was come play.
Yeah.
Come play.
You know Stephen Greer?
Yeah.
He does those
Yeah.
CE5s.
Yeah.
I'm really thinking seriously about working up the money and taking doing one of his CE5 experiences.
Wow.
They're not-
What is a
they're not
CE5
cheap.
experience? Can you tell me?
Close Encounter of the Fifth Kind is where you call them to you.
Oh wow. And
Oh,
he helps
cool.
guide you through the experience?
Well, it takes a week or so. You got to learn to meditate and all that because that's
Yeah.
the key.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The key is to meditate and you basically communicate telepathically, and you just send out this message: we're here, so they can find you.
Yeah.
And he has a lot of success. So I mean, it's like, to me, that's certain things. It's like,
I had some pretty crazy experiences when I was a kid.
me too. I saw a UFO when I was a
Very,
kid.
very full of fear too. It was like very
Oh,
scary,
yeah?
scary ones. Like,
With that UFOs?
with aliens like walking through my wall in my bedroom into my
Oh,
bedroom
were they
and
the
stuff.
reptilians?
No, like the
Grays?
little grays.
Reptilians, and my girlfriend, she said she'd wake up and find you see a reptilian sitting in the corner of her room.
Yeah, I would have trouble sleeping for a long time when I was like 3rd grade or something like that, or 2nd grade, somewhere around there. And my outside of my window, it was like 15 foot down or something like that. And it was like they just like walked right in through the wall into my room.
Yeah, they can go through walls. I've heard about that. Lots of that. They can take you through the wall too.
Yeah.
You know, like you don't have to. It's not. I don't know how they do it, but nothing's solid
I
anyway.
know, yeah, everything's vibrating
Yeah.
at certain frequencies.
Yeah. So I mean, most of everything is nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Made up of nothing, and the nothing is actually the everything.
Yeah.
The nothing, everything is pretty much made up of nothing, but
Yep.
the nothingness is actually infinite potential.
I know it's freaking nuts.
It's everything, yeah.
I love that kind of stuff. It makes
And there
me
actually
think.
is nothing.
Yeah.
We were talking about that the other day, how nothing is actually, it's kind of like a UFO. Nothing is actually not anything. Once you call it something, it actually is something. You can't actually have
can't have
nothing.
nothing.
You can't identify nothing. You can't witness nothing. You can't see nothing, because as soon as you do, then
It's not nothing
not.
anymore.
Yeah.
That's kind of like the, I'm sure you've heard of this, that the observer changes the results.
Yeah.
Yes.
Everything
with
everything we look at, by looking
double
at it, we
split
change
theory.
it. That is bizarre.
Yeah.
That's really bizarre.
That's all in the theory that they know what light is, and so
Yeah.
Well,
some,
yeah.
some of the theories that came out of that are not quite right because of their theory of what they believe light is.
Well,
which
yes,
isn't quite right.
absolutely. But I mean, and all I know is that there's a whole bunch we don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly. Hey, all I know is there's a whole lot we don't know.
All I know is that we know nothing.
Yeah. Me too. That's what I know.
And then I sat there and tried to know nothing, and I couldn't know nothing because once I knew nothing, it was something. And there was no way to know nothing because as soon as I tried to know nothing, it was
You're
something.
making me dizzy.
And I kept going in circles trying to know nothing, and it was impossible. Because as soon as I got to the closest point of knowing nothing, it became something that I knew, so that it couldn't have been nothing anymore.
You knew nothing. That's why you knew something.
That's how I knew that I knew something, is because I knew that I knew nothing, but I didn't even know nothing because I thought it was something. I wrote it all down too. I wrote this really cool thing about nothing.
I really think that
A lot to
that's
know
the
about.
nature of knowledge. That the more you know you don't know anything.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
But I think that's, I don't know if you noticed this, that people that aren't too intelligent think they know everything.
And
But people that are very intelligent think they know nothing.
Yep. Yeah,
People
those
that
ones that
are
know
really intelligent
everything.
rarely go around saying, I'm smart. They rarely. It's like, no, I don't know anything.
And the people that think they know everything, it's kind of like, huh, really? It's kind of like once you think you know God, or you know, then you don't, we haven't even gotten close. If you think you have the, if you think that you know, then you're not even close to knowing.
Well, I
The
follow
Tao said something like that.
a lot of this secret space program, and people that have had encounters with aliens, especially the ones that work, in Area 51 and part of the the secret space program. Even the aliens, who are one of them way more advanced than we are, even they don't really know.
Yeah.
I mean, they have their theories too, and they're all, sort of like we're all connected. I mean, that's a common theme, right? So,
Because have you studied Dolores Cannon and her work?
No, don't know that name.
She was a master hypnosis therapist, and she did like 1,000 past life regressions.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Thousands of them. And she wrote a book of the themes of what she saw with people, how people have all been like a blade of grass with a wind.
Oh, that's cool.
We're different races and went into all these different things, and it gets into like the aliens and the Black Federation and all these different things that she had people under hypnosis that talked about.
That's like, you know, Mateus
Yeah.
Stefano, right? I mean, he claims that he remembers.
Yeah.
You know, like being on the planets and all that. What he has to say, man, is very interesting.
Yeah, we watched a few of his interviews, a few of his things.
He's got several shows now, I think, on Gaia.
I'm just gonna put this right over here.
I think he's got several shows on Gaia. He's got at least one that's just his.
Yeah, I'm gonna bring plates. I just,
All open now.
this is Sharon's.
We have a shozu sauce,
Yeah.
which we bought, which was like a fermented soy sauce.
Okay.
But then we
Isn't
don't
soy sauce
use fermented anymore.
Oh, but soy sauce is fermented anyways.
It's a fermented raw.
It's unpasteurized.
It's unpasteurized fermented.
Yeah, so it's
Okay, but I mean, soy sauce is though fermented, right?
Right. And so we
can
learned that we learned that for the raw diet, that pasteurized is good.
And fermented is not necessary either. Or
Pasteurized is like just is high heat, right?
Yeah.
yeah.
Which would kill everything.
Yeah.
We don't do anything above 118.
Okay.
That makes it raw. That keeps it
What
raw.
did I have? Do you have a sous vide?
Huh?
A sous vide.
I don't know what that is.
Okay. Something new. It's a rage. It's a rage of cooking. Sous vide basically uses hot water to cook your food. And
Oh.
it cooks it really slowly, like apparently a steak. Believe it or not, it's really good. And you put it in, well, unfortunately, plastic bag that's like airtight. And the sous vide, you can set the temperature to like 191, 192, 183. You can set it to an exact temperature, and it maintains that temperature through the
Wow.
So it's really good for doing
That's
pot,
cool.
apparently. I've done pot with sous vide.
Oh,
I
wow.
borrowed my friend's sous vide. I don't have it anymore. So it doesn't, water doesn't go to boiling. So I'm wondering how, if that would affect anything with the way you're trying to eat or not.
Yeah, as long as the temperature is below 118.
Well, 118. I'm trying to think. No, Dave and I were trying to make pot, and I think he set it to 95. So yeah, yeah. And then it tells you how many hours, and it turns off automatically. Pretty interesting. And I thought I'd never ever sous vide either, and I thought, boil a steak? Chefs are swearing by it. Now, what's that?
This is just I put some ginger, some olive oil, and pistachio butter.
Okay, so it's not wasabi.
It's our
No.
wannabe soy sauce.
Yeah, it's wannabe soy sauce.
Okay. And this is soy sauce. Okay.
That's soy
Okay.
sauce with some
Because it
ginger.
looks like, almost looks like wasabi. So I was wondering if it was wasabi.
We haven't found
I don't know if I
radishes
can put all this in my
or
mouth.
horseradishes.
Oh, yeah.
We need fresh horseradish to make some wasabi.
Yeah, I read something the other day saying that most wasabi isn't even made from, I forgot, I just remembered.
The green soy sauce. The green
The
horseradish.
horseradish.
Yeah.
It's usually just,
Daikon or something it's called, right?
yeah, there's like a green horseradish. It's a special one. It's supposed to be wasabi. But most wasabi is dyed green from regular horseradish.
Yeah. Daikon radish is white too, so the one that makes it real is the green radish, I guess.
Yeah. And it's harder to get.
Yeah, it's expensive, very expensive.
Like it only grows in Japan, or I don't know. I saw a little story of it. But I like spicy, I like hot stuff, so
Me too.
I miss wasabi. Most wasabi is junk. Most
Yeah.
of the store wasabi is junk.
Yeah.
And so I like horseradish, but most of it's been like pasteurized or it's like fermented or and if that was already hard to find in the States, yet alone here, I'd love to find I'd love to grow a horseradish plant. But we're also not too sure about root vegetables. We're looking at
We're still researching.
We're always practicing.
Lots to learn. Stay away from government sources.
Like when the government used to give people Velveeta cheese, you get your government cheese, and it would be like the Velveeta, which is like good enough for fish bait. That's about it.
Yeah.
But we used to eat that stuff like crazy. And then they made Velveeta mac and cheese that you could buy. It came with the Velveeta.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Love that stuff. It wasn't even cheese.
It's so poisonous.
Fake
And
food.
it's getting worse every day. I mean, what the hell
Yeah.
are they doing with our food? I can't trust anything.
No.
Well, we went to.
That's why we
David,
go this path.
David
Yeah.
we went into a pharmacy to get some. He's tattooing his leg, and so he wanted some alcohol, just rubbing alcohol to clean his skin. And we walk in, and there's this big cooler with all this Coke and
Coca-Cola in the pharmacy.
Oh, yeah.
basically Gatorade. It's
Yep.
not. It's their,
Yep.
but all these dyes and colors and
Yep.
she did not. She said she didn't have alcohol or hydrogen peroxide. We were like,
Really?
okay, yeah, that's
They're
what
just
she
doing
told
drugs,
us.
that's why.
Yeah.
She told me to go to
Guadalajara.
You don't have to go there.
I know. We went to Theater and
We found the rubbing
yeah.
alcohol right there at the little shop right
Yeah,
next door.
yeah. She's like, yeah, she obviously did not understand. We even used the translator, to show her whatever. And she's like, you go. Maybe she just was not happy.
Maybe
with-
she was new, didn't even know they had it. You would
know.
think they would have it. I mean, those are pretty basic.
I
For a
know.
pharmacy, you would think, but the Mexican pharmacies are different. They're more of like pills.
Well, yeah, I understand that, but that's still pretty basic. Many pharmacies are attached to doctor's offices, so they've got to have gauze and bandages and that kind of stuff.
That's what I thought.
That's what
I
we
even
thought.
asked her, I'm like, I was like, por limpiar,
Mm.
por limpiar,
yeah.
por limpiar mis problemas.
Yeah.
Point to the skin. I need something to clean. Is what I spoke in Spanish. And, yeah.
She was not. Yeah, she was just like, go to Guadalajara.
Yeah. So I was gonna go on a- which is what, 4 hours away?
The thing is, you know what? They don't train the staff, for one, and they discourage them from thinking.
Yeah.
Like, service is terrible here.
Uh-oh.
I remember I tried to get some satisfaction from the manager. Actually, one at Omega, another one at Walmart. And the manager isn't even empowered to do it.
Yeah, we returned a blender here, and they had to talk to this person, go to this. Like, it wasn't just an easy, like, okay, return. It was.
And I had my restaurant, my microwave broke, so I brought it out to Omega, and I bought the microwave, and I brought it back to the restaurant. Freaking thing didn't work.
Oh my god.
I took it back, and I thought, I bet you, because the box was open, I said, I bet you someone else returned it. And they just put it back on the shelf.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I said, I put a little mark on the box, so that I knew if they would take, if they put the box back on the shelf.
Mm-hmm.
Sure enough, they took it back on the shelf. And I went in and talked to the manager, and I said, you put it back on the shelf, and this is why I got it. Meanwhile, they're on the phone, they're scrambling, and in the end, it's like, oh yeah, okay, we took it off. Like, I told the guy to take it off. That's what they do.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Until somebody buys it and doesn't bother to bring it back.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's crazy. But I think, one of the big problems is that you don't train the staff. You don't empower them to do anything like to help the customer.
Yeah.
And the customer is like their lowest priority, it seems.
Yeah.
I mean, if you go to any of their offices and, you're having a conversation with somebody and somebody comes up behind you and interrupts, they let them.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, and then just go, or the phone rings or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have to get used to it, I guess.
We vote with your dollar, so we try to go get the things that we need at the big places that we can't get anywhere else, and then just try to go more locally.
Speaking of which,
We
I'm
found a
transferring
cool
all my
food store.
Canadian money and bringing it down here.
Yeah,
So what's going on?
switching into Mexican. We were gonna switch all our USD to Mexican dollar because the USD is not gold backed and it's dropping out,
It's gonna fail really soon.
and especially with the way BRICS is rolling
When the
around the
digital
world.
currency there's something major, because they're escalating what they're doing. When there's something major coming down real soon. They're gonna shut down the electric grid. They're gonna go to CBDC or whatever. Canada just passed this horrendous censorship bill. And there's a big thing, right? There's something called the National Citizens Inquiry going on. And they've got things going on in the States too where the people are saying, well, government and police, nobody's doing anything. So we're going to have our own inquiry, right? And they've been going all across Canada and have great witnesses and airing it all. BC 11, or C10, C11, specifically says the NCI information is not allowed out. It's specifically stated as one of the things they're going to censor.
Oh, wow.
So, you know, I mean,
yeah.
So, I told my friend, either one or two things are going to happen. Either we're going to lose everything, or we're going to revolt and overthrow all the governments. One or the other has to happen. There's no in between.
No, yeah. Something big's gonna shift. But.
The power is going back to the people.
Yeah.
I think so, but I don't
path.
think it's going to be easy. Like, it's going to be a really hard fight.
I don't know.
You don't think so?
I
It's
think
so hard
that-
to say, right?
I think that the fight is
I think the
those
fight's
that
big.
fight are fighting it under the.
I think we just create our own new systems, you know? Like your friend. Like, it doesn't have to be hard. We just create something new.
You
I know,
can't
that
fix a
takes a long
broken
time.
system. It's
Yeah.
broken. It can't be fixed. None of these court systems, the government systems, none of them work.
Oh yeah, I'll
They-
just
they
torn down
weren't-
and rebuilt.
They're not broken. They were made to not work.
Yep.
Yeah.
They can't just be fixed. You can't fix something that's
I
broken.
agree. I agree. That's what I say,
We have to-
overthrow.
Yeah.
Build it new.
I mean, they say that you get started at the community level and it'll build from there, but I mean, you're talking decades stuff, right? And that's
Well,
too
not
much
with-
time for them to keep pushing.
Not with the technology that we have nowadays. They're mobilizing like crazy right now in France. And then, you know what France did? They made protesting illegal.
Well,
No.
it's illegal almost everywhere now.
It's not going to stop. It's not
Protesting
stopping.
is illegal in Canada unless you're BLM or, you know. Like, you can't protest this stuff they're doing with the kids in schools, you know, and, you know.
Yeah, teaching your own
The
children.
freedom convoy, that, you know, they're making any pushback, like anybody that doesn't conform and go along it's illegal. They're making it illegal.
Yeah, it's like the Empire Strikes Back. The Star Wars movie.
But did you
Yeah.
see, was it the Netherlands or Denmark with the farmers, they had an election or whatever, you know, they weren't happy with their government, so all the farmers got together and formed their own political party and they won. So they're in power now.
Well,
Well, they're lucky they were able to get that far. Somebody didn't come in and shoot them all or something.
yeah.
And they were blocking highways with the tractors. They all brought their tractors.
Yep.
They had this one machine that was shooting hay barrels. And they were
Oh.
just dumping it on this
And they were
building.
dumping manure.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
dude.
I didn't see any of
In
that.
in France, they're getting cinder blocks and concrete and making walls across roads.
Oh
Like
my
just
God.
building walls like out in the middle of nowhere. They took over some of the biggest
Oh,
buildings.
there's some interesting thing
the
happening.
biggest companies
There's
in the
people
world.
climbing 5G towers with hammers.
Yes.
And,
Yeah, and
you know,
ripping signs
I think
off,
that's, you know,
cameras down.
I think that's what we're gonna have to do. We're gonna have to shoot down.
David will eat everything if you don't go for it.
I'm good. I'm good.
Okay.
I'm
like-
Need some room.
I'd like to
Yeah,
shoot some
I'm-
cameras. You know, I mean, I don't have to deal with that here. You know, so it's so nice because if I was a problem, what I'd do.
I'm
But
like,
I'd be one of those people wanting to pull down those towers and shoot the cameras or whatever. You can throw paint on them. I don't know. You know what I'm doing? I'm doing.
Black paint, mortar oil, and sand.
One thing I am doing is, you know, those what do they call them? QR codes that are showing up all over the place. Just carry a Sharpie with you. Put a black dot, a little dot anywhere on one of them. They won't work. And so I'm going around whenever I see one and doing that because if all the merchants say they don't work, they won't use them. They won't take off. So, but big places like airports and stuff, just carry a Sharpie, and all you have to do is put a dot, and it's not going to read what it's supposed to read.
Oh.
So they're going to have to come up with something for that if they catch on the people and do it. They'll have to put them behind. Well, you can't put them behind glass because you can still put a black mark on the glass. You can still screw it up. Anyways, that's my little contribution to the revolution. And my money, bringing my money out of Canada.
Yeah.
Because they're going real fast there, you know.
We couldn't open a bank here
Oh, it's
because
crazy
we don't
what they
have
want.
a bill. Like we don't have an electric bill with our name in. That's all that they
Doesn't
want.
have your name, just has to have your address.
Really?
Yep. I'm going through that right now.
Oh wow, more.
And I've had to go through that before. I mean, to get my driver's license one time, they wanted a bill. So I went to my landlord, and the landlord gave me the bill. But they told me, though, in addition to the bill that was in my landlord's name, I needed a copy of my landlord's ID.
Oh, God.
They didn't make me do it. I'm in the process of opening an account now. Actually, they didn't come into my house, which is really good. Yeah. So, they have a picture of my house. Oh, bank account.
So weird.
Oh, it's totally ridiculous.
So this is the mamba fruit with
That's
a
the
little
one you just showed me?
coconut oil
Okay.
and coconut meat that I blended together.
With almond meat.
You need to freeze it.
No, I never freeze it.
Oh, yummy.
I just put it in the fridge.
Yummy.
And then a little bit of raw agave and some raspberries. And then these are cookies that are made with, I make almond milk. And so the pulp of the almond that's left over, because we don't have a high power blender, I use and mix it with fruit. So it's just fruit and nuts.
Well, see, what was it? I don't know. It was some kind of pie somebody was making. And they used cashews, and they soaked them in water.
Yeah, it has some
So
the
I don't know
pineapple
if the
pulp.
soaking and the water does. And then they mash it up in a blender, the cashews with almonds, and I think dates or something.
Mm-hmm.
And it made this like gooey stuff, and
Yeah.
they pushed it in the bottom of a pie pan. And that was the crust. It was kind of cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna be making pie soon.
Mm-hmm.
Chocolate mousse pie.
Yeah, this has
Raw.
I made some pineapple juice and then all the pulp. I'm like, what do I do with that? So I just try to reuse, like, you know.
Oh yeah, it makes that gooey so it holds together.
Yeah.
And flaxseed.
Well, you know, you like, I gotta admire you, you know, your creativity with this stuff. Really.
We've had a lot of fun, like that whole week that we were fasting. Well, not the whole week, but towards the end especially. We were like just looking at recipes. We were like,
No way.
Yeah, we're like
Drooling.
Yeah, we're like, this looks good. Oh, we should make this. Oh, yeah. And so we got, you know.
We
and
started making some things so when we were ready with our fast, we
Bet
could-
your food tasted really great.
it's a whole nother.
So your
Everything
whole week, is that the first time you did it?
everything's
I
totally
did a week
different now.
before my own. But the enema cleanses, I didn't do enough the first time. You're supposed to do them until your system runs clear.
Okay.
And
Kind of like before you have a colonoscopy. You ever have one of those? Yeah, well, you gotta drink this stuff until whatever's coming out is like water.
Yeah.
Clear. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cleaned out.
Yeah.
But I'm sure that the stuff that's in there is something for you.
Yeah.
Chemicals.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think the enemas are.
I've never
really
had another
important.
colonoscopy, I'll tell you that. Had one, never had another.
We just did salt water enemas, not coffee. Well, I did one coffee. I did one coffee enema the first fast I did, and I felt like I drank a cup of coffee after I did it.
Yeah,
I was
because
wired.
you absorb that way.
Yeah.
I've heard of people putting alcohol up their butt.
Yeah. I was like,
So you
I
don't-
do not
so
need
you don't have the
coffee.
breath?
Well, you ever watch Shameless? I don't know. Shameless is this is a really funny show, but the guy was an alcoholic, and he couldn't drink alcohol. He had a liver transplant, I don't know, something like that. So he gave himself an enema.
That is shameless.
Well, I guess it doesn't have to go through your liver that way, or does it? I guess it still does, doesn't it?
Yeah, I heard like the guy that has the car where he has to breathe in the breathalyzer in order for his car to
I
start.
knew somebody had that.
Would do an enema of the alcohol so that it wouldn't be on their breath.
Oh, okay, well, he didn't do that the way he
So
But
it
didn't I
wouldn't
read
pass the
somewhere
breath of the
that by,
breathalyzer.
what, 2025 or something, they breathalyzer in every car?
Oh God.
I think I read something.
Doing all sorts of crazy things out there. More and more laws.
The more laws they create, the more we all become criminals.
Well, we're all gonna be criminals. But they're not.
We don't drink alcohol anymore, so.
I don't drink much, but I do trivia on Thursdays and I always have a couple of vodkas.
Yeah.
But no, like since I started with the medicine, I don't mind drinking. It's like 80% less.
That's great.
Yeah, well, most people I know that do medicine end up that way. They just lose their taste for alcohol.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Not the taste so much as the
Desire.
effects. Yeah. If you don't want the effects.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. You realize the effects, the benefits don't outweigh the effects.
I think it's poison, you know. And I think that, like, that it allows evil to take over your body. That's why people do stupid things, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Things that they regret.
That's why they're called spirits.
Evil spirits.
Yeah.
I know, it's so funny that it's legal because there's not a hell of a lot of good in alcohol.
No. And then other things are illegal. It's funny, you can go to a bar and drink legally and they can give you as many drinks as you want, but it's not legal to be drunk in the bar. But they can give you enough, you can go to a bar and
It's
get
not
drunk.
illegal to be drunk in a bar?
No, they can throw you right out
Oh, yeah, okay.
and you can
But
get
it's not
arrested.
illegal. You can be arrested?
Yes, I've been arrested. drunk at a
David,
bar.
yes.
Drunk and disorderly, they call it?
No,
Or-
I wasn't even disorderly.
And did you have to pay the court?
No, I just stayed the night. I had some bad breakfast. They gave me some bracelets.
And then that, yeah.
They gave him some bracelets.
Brought me to my room and
then what you
gave me
got?
some bad breakfast.
What's with the bracelets?
Cuffs.
They were hooked
Oh.
together. I wasn't drunk in public.
I was thinking, you know, like all inclusive hospitals.
That was an all-inclusive resort. We got free food, a free bed, and a
They
roommate.
didn't think
And a
about it.
roommate.
The toilet
So they
had a
didn't
sink
charge
on the
you.
back of it, all one piece.
So they didn't charge you. So then is it really illegal?
It's illegal to be drunk in public, and they can do like time served, or they
So you
like
were charged.
I didn't have to go to court for it, so I don't know how all that system worked, but they gave me a breathalyzer at like 2 in the morning and said, yeah, you can't leave yet.
Do you
And
have
then
a
they gave me a
record?
breathalyzer in the morning, and then they let me go.
You have a record?
No.
Then you were charged.
Well, we didn't drive anywhere.
Yeah,
You didn't.
I was drunk in the
So-
bar, and they threw me into public.
Basically, they're not
When the
interested.
police officer was right there.
And maybe it's not like a law per se, but it's a law, but it's like they just want to get you out the street, you're sober and then send you home. They don't really
That,
want
yeah.
you want to
They don't
run
wanna,
through the court
like-
system and all that.
Yeah, so they just do it simply.
Thank God. And nowadays, move.
Yeah.
Gotta be careful, you know, what you say. You know, like
Yeah.
they just
Yeah,
put
that's
people
what-
in jail and treat them like shit for just for saying stuff. It's terrible. And true
Freedom of
stuff, but meanwhile
speech.
they lie through their teeth. Freedom of speech is gone. And there's that law they just passed in Canada, I can't believe they passed it. And I think part of it is they can come and arrest you if somebody reports that you're afraid that you might threaten them or they're afraid you might do something. So they can arrest you for crimes.
Someone being afraid of you.
Well, yeah, they don't have to have any evidence. So can you imagine what that could lead to?
Yeah.
People could just call on anybody.
Yep.
Somebody could call all their neighbors, and then now they.
Well, yeah, and if
they
it's-
don't, I don't want any neighbors.
Every day I go to
I'm afraid of
McDonald's.
that.
Every day I go to McDonald's. There's 10 people in line in front of me. Jeez. Okay. Call on each and every one of them. Next thing you go, there's nobody in line. Too much traffic on the road. You start calling on everybody. You don't have to deal with the traffic. Next thing you know, they'll be calling on you.
I don't know.
I'm not in
Any
Canada.
idea how they
No, I mean, personally.
implement this kind of censorship, where, like I said, they explicitly said news about it, like even the National Citizen Inquirer not allowed on. So how are they censoring Canadians and nobody else in the world? Like how do they tell? How do they do that? Any idea? You know technology? You know
Well,
what
I
I mean?
guess if you're in Canada, you're.
So it's your
you know,
IP
you're-
address?
Yeah, fuck it.
Yeah. The IP address
Okay, so
And
I'm
then
not
if
going to
you
get
get caught
censored
with
because
your
I'm down
I-
here.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I was
But
trying to
if
get
you're
at.
in Canada and your IP address is in Mexico, you get busted for that. I saw laws going up on that too.
Oh no, VPNs.
They were trying to pass
They're
that
trying to pass that in the States.
in the United States.
$20,000 fine. No.
Yeah, I saw
$100
that.
or $100,000 fine or 20 years in jail for using a VPN
Yeah. Which
to
is-
bypass the censorship.
Well, like, and that means like if I go to the United States, my TikTok is says I'm here in Mexico, but if I go when I'm in the United States, it says that I'm in Mexico. And so if they banned TikTok, I could still use it in the United States because it says Mexico, but I would get that fine and thrown in jail for 20 years.
I don't know, but I just know the one that
It's all
Biden,
ridiculous.
the one for the U.S. says that there's big fines for using a VPN. I don't know if there's anything in the Canadian.
That was the law that they were
No,
trying to
yeah.
pass. I
Yeah,
don't
they
know
haven't
if
done
it
it yet.
passed yet. It still
Not
has a lot
yet.
to go through.
But Canada, it's been a long time. People are saying, "Oh, it passed." No, it hasn't. It's gone through Parliament now. It has to go to the Senate,
Yeah.
and Senate just voted yesterday.
They were all
passed it.
doing it because of the whole TikTok thing is why they made this one, and everything they've claimed that TikTok does is everything that Facebook and the U.S. government already does to all of us all.
I don't know. Citizens Inquired has been really interesting. There's another one in the States. It's the Senate or the House Special Senate Committee, something like that, on the weaponization of the federal government.
Yeah,
I don't know if you knew that was going on.
I know how.
Both of
the
those
federal government's been
hearings have
weaponized.
amazing witnesses. Really, really
I think
credible.
I've seen a few of those videos.
Both of them are huge, and both of them are not getting any airtime.
Yeah.
These are mostly, both,
Except for
they're
like
all
on
being run
TikTok,
by the
there's
people
a-
to go say, look, you need to know what the hell's really going on, and they're not letting anybody see it.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I don't know.
Yep.
But-
So focus on the good, focus on the positive, focus on the goodness, focus on the good things going on, and
I know it's
don't
going to be
give
just
any energy
really
to it.
interesting. Oh,
Yeah.
it's just, I can't not give it energy.
Heaven's
'cause
on
it's
its
so-
way.
But it's
Heaven's here.
I'm not
Showing it.
afraid. I'm flabbergasted half the time what they're getting away with. But no, I'm pretty sure that everything will be okay in the end. But it's just a long way far from the end.
In the
Yeah.
end, it's all okay, and if it's not okay, it's not the end.
Well, yes,
Oh, yeah.
that's true. Most people don't understand that, but it's very true. But I want to see it. I wanna
Sharon's
be
like,
here.
I want to see what's gonna happen next.
Yes, I do.
I saw it all on Bufo.
Yeah.
I saw how we are in heaven, and there's just guck.
Oh
over
yeah,
our
but what's
eyes.
going to happen in the next 5 years?
The negativeness is gonna
It's going to just
be
self-implode.
dwindled away. Yeah, the foundations under the negativeness have been removed, and it's just falling.
I mean,
It's gonna fall under our eyes.
I mean,
And
I
the
have no
crimes
doubt.
against humanity will be,
Yes,
they will be
I have no
brought
doubt.
to the system.
but I
will
think
be
it's going
brought
to take a long time because there's still too many people that don't care. You know, that doesn't affect them directly. You know what I mean? There's,
Those that care don't
we need-
matter.
well, they
they're-
do because they're made to be tools. They're tools
But it won't
for.
matter when their tools that they're the tool of is crumbles away.
No, I
then
know.
They're gonna go crazy.
Yeah,
because
but it's
they'll
not going to
have
happen
hold
tomorrow. It's
them
going
up.
to be a long, painful. Like it could be. You know, like we're going to have to fight for it. I'm pretty
It
sure.
could happen tomorrow.
Yeah. I
The
don't think so.
aliens could all show up and just say,
Well,
"Hey,
that-
it could happen tomorrow."
I have great hopes. I would love to see them come here and help
So
us.
believe it could happen tomorrow. You know?
That's why, like, this,
It could
to me,
happen.
that's like, yep, they're watching.
Yeah.
They're watching, and they know they were like on a bad path.
And there's certain little things that need to happen, and once they do, and they're happening, and once
Well,
they
they
do,
are.
then boom. It's
Disclosure,
all
right?
good.
I mean, they're starting to
Yeah.
let little bits and pieces, but they're going to try
They
to
had to
twist
do
that
it
in their favor
slowly
as well. You know
because-
that too, right?
They
Yeah.
had to do it slowly so people could awaken more and more because
yes.
it would be too.
Less
It already has
casualties
been
that way.
such a.
But the thing is, they're not disclosing everything, like the
Shut.
technology they've gained. They're not going to disclose that. They're not going to tell us. And they got to be really careful because people will be so angry if they find out that with their like healing beds, we're going to have
The
healing beds for
technology
50 years,
is
right?
back, yeah.
But they kept it secret, you know. So I don't think they're going to release all of
Yeah,
this.
oh, it's all gonna come out. It's all
It
gonna
will
come out.
eventually, but
I think
in
in
a
one
long
day,
time.
I think in one day we'll all have access to all of it.
Well, you should have
There'll be
access
one
to a
day
bunch
that
of
comes
it now.
really soon that everyone will be able to see all of it. like no one will be able to even hide their eyes from it.
Well, I mean,
It's
I
gonna
see
be
that
so
coming,
obvious.
but I guess maybe it's all relative to what you consider soon.
Every time I see somebody, I say I'll see you soon.
I
I have a friend that says
Well,
I'll
you know,
come
when
over.
you look at
I'll see
eternity
you
soon,
I have a friend that invited him over to my house. He's like, all right, I'll see you soon. And I'm like, cool.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm gonna go outside and see, like, greet him. 4 hours later.
Yeah.
That was his soon.
Yeah.
And some of these people I've never seen again, and they've died by now. I saw them at ceremony, and I said, I love you. I'll see you soon.
There you go.
And I will. And
It's
I have.
cool what you said. Was you when you were talking about the past life regression? Oh, you, I think, and somebody being a blade of grass.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's one thing that I've learned too. Like
Blowing
everything
in
has
the wind.
consciousness, rocks even.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Everything.
And it's interesting
has
to
the
start
potential
looking
of
at
life.
things that way.
Consciousness.
Yeah. Well, because it's everywhere, right? It's all one. It's all one big.
From what I've studied, is the consciousness is in the dipole of the water, and everything pretty much has water in it. Water is the Pythagorean triangle. It's a triangle, but you take the bottom of it out. It's just like it's like an open triangle. There's no bottom to it, and it's the hydrogen and the oxygen. And in this the dipole right here is where consciousness resides. Is the theory that I've heard that made the most sense.
Well, that is
And then that
interesting.
is
But that's like.
consciousness in water and water.
But it's not like.
in
It's not local. It's.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's a
it's
little
all
harder to
connected.
kind of. Yeah.
It's all connected to every
It
single
can't be
water
local
molecule,
because then
right?
which river is it in or which lake? You know?
In everything that has water in it.
Well,
everything has the potential
You're
to be
mostly water.
Yeah.
you
Well, that
know.
was something I heard recently too. There's one thing that all the extraterrestrial life forms have in common is water. And everybody
Yeah.
needs, but they're able to get water out of the air.
Mhm.
I think we have people. I think I've seen inventions now that people have made machines that pull water out of the air.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure.
And they're not even like machines, they're even just nets. They don't even need
Oh, well,
any
they can do it that
mechanical
way, but I
parts.
think somebody
As in-
sells a small unit too. So I guess if you're in a remote area and you don't have a well.
I saw them making them in Africa out of like bamboo or like wicker. It looks like a wicker coffee table without the lid, and it just catches the water and it brings it down, and they can use it for drinking water.
Yeah, I've seen that where the nets, like in foggy areas, you put up nets and then they
Yeah.
collect the water because it kind of like collects on the net.
They were doing it in the dry desert.
Yeah.
And then another thing I've been watching this group, they make they call it Earth Smiles in big open vast deserts where it rains sometimes but the water just runs off.
Yeah.
They dig these smiles in the ground, so they
Okay.
dig it
Yeah.
so the dirt's up on one side so it catches the water, and now these huge deserts
Huh.
are green now and growing from
You know,
them
there's some
doing
simple
this technique
solutions,
for
aren't there?
years.
Yeah.
Where the whole village will just go out there and people will just dig with a hoe and pull all the dirt up on this one side and make it a smile. They call it Earth Smile. And then a few years later, the water is
all
caught
green.
there and it's just green, and the whole area starts turning green. And once it starts growing green, more of it grows. It's like,
Yeah, well, at least nature is very resilient.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
no matter what we do, if we leave it alone, it'll recover.
yeah. There was a cool documentary on that. It was called like Apocalypse, and it was like after humans, like if all the humans were wiped off, 10 years after, what it would look like, 100 years after, what it would look like, what happens after each one of those times. At one point, the nuclear plants explode and go everywhere.
Well, that's
but then,
interesting.
and then after a few more 100 years or something, that's all just back into nature. The cities have been taken over, they just fall back, and everything's pretty much like disappeared at one point.
I guess all you have to do is like consider like the pyramids and things they find in the middle of the jungles,
Yeah.
right? At one point, that probably was a jungle.
Exactly.
Yeah. And just overgrowth hides everything. I mean, you look at some. I mean, they've been finding pyramids and mounds. They look like hills.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. David will be driving somewhere and he'll be like, "Up there's pyramid." And
No,
it's
I do
just
the
like,
same
oh
thing
my
now. Every
God.
time I look at a big hill or something,
Look at
there's
the mountain, and it's like that one right there.
Especially here in Mexico.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of mountains that look
Look
very
just
much.
like a pyramid.
All
Very
mountains
much.
around this whole area look like they could have all been
Yes.
like that.
Yes.
It's mainly flat, except for all the mountains like look like they could have been
Many of them.
or are.
Yeah.
But who
Pyramids
knows?
are the really cool. Well, I think it was Matthias Stefano. It wasn't him. It was an alien. who asked about the pyramids. I think it was the Grace. Grace said that they were here when they got. Because
Yeah.
apparently the Grace claimed that they seeded life when they brought us here, and and I think I've heard Matthias say they're out of time. People say, how old are they? They're out of time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a hard one to, you know, to conceive,
wrap
but
your head
you
around.
can't time them on this. And
The
they were
emerald-
created. They were created by the Creator to give a perspective on itself, something like that.
Wow.
You know, like because
Yeah.
you can't have one, right? You gotta have at least two. So then and then you get creation, right?
Yeah, that's why you can't believe any of the history of what they
history
say.
sucks.
They,
Well, we
they
don't
say
even
that
know
certain
it.
dynasties made them, and it's all about the whole thing that's happening on in Egypt, and the archaeologists. They're all of a certain religion, and they're
Well,
set
it's
there,
almost a science
so
religion.
They can't
Oh,
tell the truth. They
Yeah.
have to lie because it would make their religion
yeah,
a lie.
yeah.
So they have to lie
Well,
about
that,
their
I
archaeology.
think-
So they have like this club or whatever. They got a group together and not let anybody know the truth.
Well, they're uncovering new stuff all the time and finding, stuff, under the ocean and under here and there and everything.
Yeah.
And finding out that there's no doubt that there was civilization here before the Great Flood.
Yeah.
I mean, and all that is like, there was civilization here even millions of years ago. I mean, they're finding stuff
Yeah.
that's millions of years
Yeah,
old.
it's amazing.
So it's like, it's time to start rewriting the history books, like the science
Especially the
books.
history books that Rome wrote.
And,
Yeah.
Because
and
most
we,
of it
we
was
don't
what
know.
Rome wrote.
Yeah.
Because they wanted to say, Bible's this old and this is this old, so nothing else is truth, and that's why they went around the world destroying every evidence that's proved against that.
Yeah.
All this control.
Do you want some water or anything else? to
Sure,
drink?
plus water.
We have some Santa Maria water.
There. Really?
Yeah, check it out. It's a company called Santa Maria.
Oh, I've seen that. Yes, 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 yes.
See?
Yep.
It's spring water.
I've seen
we
that one.
we weren't a fan. David bought a filter, and
Oh, just a splash.
I wasn't really a fan
Yeah,
of.
that's good.
I want to get a filter too. The thing is, I want
How
one for
it
my
tastes
shower too. But my shower is really weird. It's just it comes directly out of the ceiling like this. And in order to put a filter on it, usually you need one of those handheld things, and then it goes in the
Yeah,
handle.
yep.
So I don't know how I can put a filter on there.
And then your house is connected to a bunch of houses, so
Yeah.
your water system is in one tank. This place has one tank on the roof. So it would be cool to take the line out of the tank and run it right into that house filter and filter all of it. That would be the most efficient way.
Yeah.
But this house just has, like your house is,
They have an underground system with a pump.
yeah, so you can't
It's not.
filter your incoming water. You have to filter it at each location.
Yeah, which I thought, okay, I'll put it on my kitchen sink.
Yeah. For the
But I want them
shower
to shower because you get a lot more chemicals and that in your body through the shower than when you're drinking.
Most of the ones I found were handheld, but maybe they make some
I haven't
that's
seen
not.
one that isn't handheld, and I used to have.
You'd have to search just right. You'd have to have the right search engine on Amazon, and you might be able
Well,
to.
like I said, it's because of I got a weird shower that comes right out, and probably somebody creative could figure out how I could
Yeah.
put a handheld one on there.
Yeah, you probably could. It's usually the same valve.
Well, yeah, but it's hard to
Same
imagine because I can't
size.
reach it. It's way up
Yeah.
there. I mean, normally they're on the wall, and you can take the handle out. And it's like, I'm not sure how that would work.
Yeah.
Not sure at all.
But if you search a filtered rain shower, because they make those kinds.
It is. I
that-
have a rain shower.
Yeah, they might make a filter type, or you might be able to just put an inline filter, unscrew it, and put a filter on it, and screw it back in.
Yeah, usually they're pretty large. The ones I've had are pretty big.
But you say it's way up there, so
Yeah, but
the right inline filter would.
I have no idea.
Bring it
I don't
down.
know this stuff. Yeah, I have no idea.
Yeah.
It would still bring the shower head down quite a ways. I don't know what that would do.
Yeah, it just
No
make
idea.
it hard for.
I'm
taller
short, so it
people.
won't hurt me. Right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm already my height. I'm already used to ducking under the shower head most
I can
of my life.
imagine, you get those ones that are affixed to the wall, right? And it
But
gets you right
yeah.
here. Like, how do you get your head, right?
Oh man!
Yeah.
And
I
most
don't
of
have
the
that
way-
problem.
And even in the United States, they build these shower enclosures, and there's a hole for the shower head, and then they put an elbow on the hole, so it comes out, and it's already at this height.
Right. So you can wash your belly.
Yeah. It's like, geez.
I know.
So it's like you gotta put it on the wall
You gotta
above
find
it,
ways
so
to
it's
make
up
do your-
here. But then the short people, it's cold by the time it gets to them.
Exactly. It's about the short people.
Oh, you're
Altitudinally challenged. Sorry, I didn't mean to call you short.
Vertically.
Mm.
Altitudinally.
That's
too long a word.
Yeah.
I know, but it's funny.
It is.
I don't even
I
know
love
if it is
made
a
up
word.
words. I love made up words.
Well,
That's one of my favorite
altitudinally
things.
challenged.
I love making up words. They usually work better than the one, you know.
Yeah,
Like
it's
glistens.
Yeah.
Glistens.
Blessings is a good one.
Blessings.
Yes. Yes.
Lessons.
Blessed lessons.
So how are you, do you like living here?
Oh,
The location good? and
I
all
love
that?
it. Yeah, yeah. I feel so grateful and so blessed. We have everything we need. We've been
Yeah.
planting plants.
We got so
Sarah?
many flower pots up there now. We just got
David-
4 more flower pots today.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Santa Maria.
No, we don't have anything like that.
You know,
We-
I picked mushrooms and I had quite a few, and then I went to get them the other day and the bugs got in them.
Oh.
So I think it's because I didn't. I think next time I'm gonna get a lot more, but I'm gonna put them in the freezer so bugs can't get them. That would hurt the mushrooms, would it? Shouldn't it?
They're usually dry,
But then
right?
you talk about freezing stuff and how it kills stuff. Yeah, you dry them. I was gonna dry, maybe powder it, make it a powder or something.
Yeah, so you're saying the bugs got to your dried mushrooms.
Yeah, I had dried mushrooms and I had them in a plastic, one of those Ziploc plastic containers, and I don't think I had quite, because I had them in there for quite a while and I was eating them, I was
It
giving them to my
wasn't
friends.
zipped closed one day or something.
Yeah, because I opened it, because I was saving enough, because I promised my girlfriend we'd do a dose, and I opened it and it's like, it's all powder. And I was gonna say, I think I even, went to try the powder, and then I saw these bugs crawling all over it, and I said, oh, okay, well, throw it out.
Yeah, that would be a whole nother experience you'd probably have if you ate those.
Probably be okay, because bugs don't
Yeah.
hurt you, right? A few little bugs aren't good to hurt you.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I know this guy Stefan, who's been mushroom hunting for like 20 years, and he gets visions that tell him where to go.
Wow.
I felt that way when I was in living with my daughter to help her with her baby. There was all these Amarita muscaria. They're the red ones with the white polka dots, and I felt like they were like over here, and I was like, all
You
right.
followed me.
They
though.
say they
I
will
let
if
it
you're
slip
hunting. They
out.
say eat the first one you find, and then you can find the others.
Yeah.
But
I even had a dream about them that like there was on the stalk, there was like a code that would tell you which one was okay and which one wasn't or whatever, because there's different panther ones and
I'm pretty
different
convinced that there's more psilocybin mushrooms than there are non.
There's 33 different psilocybin ones in Mexico.
I'm not surprised.
According to Richie,
and
anyway.
there's
Yeah.
been some that I didn't pick because I didn't know for sure. And then later on, I was going, oh, I could have picked that one. But
They're
one
usually
sure thing is they turn blue.
Yeah.
So I only kept the ones that turned blue. The other ones could have been, there
Good
were
and
just a
edible,
few
yeah.
that. But that's the key for sure. They say if they turn blue, then they're definitely psilocybin. So they were good.
The
I must
Amarita
be nice.
muscaria are not psilocybin.
They're
but
different,
They're
I know.
Very,
They're a
very
delirium.
good for you
Yeah.
in microdosing, not a macro dose.
Mhm.
You might do some weird shit. but-
Delirium, like more delirious.
Yeah.
than-
I did it. Dave and I did a dose once. We bought 6 grams of it. Neither one of us got anything out of it. So I don't know how they could lose their potency, but anyways, I'm liking mushrooms, and I'm going to pick it, and I want to get I want a friggin' green garbage bag full.
Mm.
Well, Stefan said this one time we went, he says, oh, you should have come here last week when I came. He says, you couldn't go more than a couple of meters without having